everybody, I'm Mama Baird. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be making Instant Pot applesauce, and this is part of the Jar It Up July collaboration. I'm so excited to be joining Kris from Citygirl Homestead and Angela from the Inquisitive Farmwife in this month-long collaboration featuring canning, preserving, pantry building, and getting ready for harvest season. I know you guys have got something growing. Now, this collaboration is running from the 1st to the 25th, and there are so many amazing creators participating in this. You will find so many new channels to go watch. You'll find canning projects and tips and pantry inspiration all month long. I will have the collaboration playlist listed down below so you can go check it out for yourself and get all the ideas. This collaboration is also sponsored by Superb. This is an American-made canning lid and jar company. I love that this collaboration is celebrating American-made products, especially as we just celebrated America's 250th anniversary. There's also going to be a live giveaway July 25th, 2 p.m. Central Time over on the Inquisitive Farmwife's channel. You'll get a chance to win by 1, leaving comments on every video that you watch, and 2, participating in the live giveaway. So make sure you're watching, commenting, and checking out that playlist down below. Now today I'm keeping stuff really simple and beginner friendly. We're gonna use the Instant Pot to make some applesauce. This is one of those basic pantry skills that's easy, useful, and a great way to use up apples, especially if you get a lot from a harvest. I happen to get a lot from a food pantry, or you might find a really good sale at the store. I'm going to walk you through how to make it in the Instant Pot, and then I'm going to show you how to can it up and put it on your shelf. So let's get to it. If you're new to the channel, my name is Carolina. Please give me a like, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Press the notification bell. It'll let you know every time I post a new video. And if you don't mind leaving a comment, even a heart really goes a long way. Thank you. But make sure you say something unique if you want to get entered into a giveaway. So let's get over here and let's make this applesauce. All right, so what we got going over here, this is a pressure canner. I have some pint jars in there just boiling and sanitizing, and they're going to be doing their thing while we are over here with our Instant Pot. I went ahead and peeled and diced all the apples. This is lemon water. It looks like they got a little brown. I had to do something in between dicing them, but that's okay because we're making applesauce. So I'm just going to drain off this water. Just gonna leave about half of a cup in there. I'm gonna put it in here, pressure cook. We are going to pressure cook this for 7 minutes. Now to this, I'm also gonna add some cinnamon. I just have the rest of this container I'm gonna get used up because we like cinnamon applesauce. You could do strawberry, blueberry, anything. I'm not too sure about the canning if you add fruit to this, like other fruit, but it's definitely something you can make. And then we're gonna add just a couple of tablespoons of lemon juice here, probably about 2. And that's it. If you wanna add sugar, you can. I might add a scoop of brown sugar. This is 12 pretty big apples. And I'm sure some of you will say that you don't need to add sugar at all, that they're sweet, and that's cool, good if you don't need to. I like that the brown sugar is going to add a little bit extra because of that molasses, and I think a 1/4 cup for 12 apples is not going to kill us. So we're going to leave it just like that. It will mix up, and then this will come up to pressure for 7 minutes. And then we got our jars. Here, let me open it for you. Whenever you open this, be very careful. Steam hot. So there we go, we got pint jars in there, just boiling, sanitizing. I close it because it will boil over, you know, so. All right, so that's where we're at for now. I will bring you back when the applesauce is done and we'll go from there. All right, our 7 minutes are up, so let's release the pressure. All right, well, that is releasing. Pull out our jars. All right, now these were in here boiling. We might have to take some water out of this, because by the time we get the applesauce in there, you know, it could overflow. You do want to can at the same temperature, so if you're having a hot product, you want hot jars. If you're doing room temperature, same thing, room temperature food, room temperature jars. Cold food, cold jars. Or liquids. Like sometimes I'll can my chicken stock cold because it's out of the fridge, you know. And then I'll just do cold pot, cold water, cold jars, cold chicken stock in there, you know. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Oh, very liquidy. Those look and smell good though. So we are going to use our immersion blender and blend it up. Let me get off my cord. Okay, here we go. Blend her up. If you're using an immersion blender, I like to kind of find a spot where it makes like a whirlpool here. You see how it's kind of pulling the apples in. All right, we got her blended up. And of course, the most important part is the taste test. Now, if you wanted this thicker, you just put it on the stove, or you could press saute on here and it would boil and make the applesauce a little thicker. But I think once it cools down, it'll be a pretty good consistency. A bit tart. I might add 1 more scoop of sugar. So this is half a cup total in all of this. I still don't think that's too bad, and you know, flavor to your discretion. Alright, let's taste again. Perfect. Alright, now we are going to jar it up. Remember, this was 12 pretty big apples. Want to leave about a 1-inch headspace. You could also do this in smaller portions. So say like for a baby, you want to do little 4-ounce jars. So you can make your own baby food and can it up. I think that would be great. I wish I was more of a canner whenever my kids were babies. I probably would have made their own baby food. I would have been one of those moms. Especially with having an Instapot and a blender, like it's really so easy to do. And steaming and mashing the food doesn't really, you know, it doesn't take out nutrients from it. Blending food doesn't do that. Some people think it does. It does not. Looks like we're gonna get about 4 pints and a little extra, which is good because the kids wanted to try it. So I boiled 2 extra jars, which is okay. I'd rather have too many than not enough. And now we are going to, oh wait, first we have to debubble. So I'm going to use, this is actually a zester, and you're just gonna kind of roll it around, try and get any loose bubbles out. You wanna try and get as much air out as possible. That's what's gonna help make it last longer, you know. All right, so vinegar, wipe the rim really good. Especially if you're doing anything greasy or sugary, like a jelly or something. You really want to make sure you wipe that rim, because that's where the seal's going, and that's where it'll, if it pops, then you know you're doomed. No pressure. So, and then we are going to put our lid and twist the fingertip tight. Some people still boil their lids, but you don't have to do that anymore. You can just apply directly to the jar. All right, now we're gonna put this back in our pot. Like I said, I just use my pressure canner pot as my water bather. If you're in a pinch and you don't even have one of these, you can just use a pot as long as the water can come at least 1 inch above the top of the jar here. Like I might take some of this out because it's gonna take longer to boil if it's that high, and I don't need it that high, so I might as well take some out. But you can just use a pot with a towel, just a kitchen towel. Here we go, that's better. On the bottom there, instead of this rack here, and then put your jars there as long as they're not touching and they have spots to boil, then you don't have to have any certain special equipment for it. So let's turn this up to high. We're gonna get it boiling again. I'm gonna go ahead and put my lid on here. Another good thing about using your pressure canner is that when it comes to a boil, like this will pop out and you'll see steam, so you know exactly when it's boiling. So we'll get to that point and I'll bring it back. All right, she is a boiling, so we're gonna go ahead and set a 20-minute timer. Now, if this was quarts, it would be 25. You just add 5 extra minutes for quarts. I'm gonna turn it down to just a 7 because you know you want it to be at a rolling boil, but this is a little intense. So turn it down just to 7, 20 minutes, and then we're gonna let it sit for about 5 minutes before we crack the top. All right, everybody, this did its 20 minutes of boiling. Wrong way. I let it sit for 10 minutes, And now we're gonna go ahead and pull them out. This one's already sealed because the button is down. We'll kind of see up here, the button is up. That's how you know that it's not sealed yet. And then once it's sealed, it sucks in and that will ping and it'll get down. And that's how you know that your jars are sealed and safe for your pantry. Did you hear that? There's one. Now, whenever you take them out of the water, you want to make sure you have a towel or some kind of padding down so the glass doesn't come in direct contact with the counter. These are going to sit completely still for 24 hours, and then you're going to go ahead and take off the rings and store them on your shelf. I do like to make sure I mark them on the lid so I know what they are. If you won't remember, some of you might like at least label that they're cinnamon applesauce, and then the month and the year that you canned them up. So that way you know how old it is as the months go on. So thanks for coming along and checking out my Instant Pot applesauce. I got all this done in a day just by having it in the background while I'm puttering around doing my stuff. Very beginner friendly. I hope you give it a try. And don't forget to check out the playlist down below of everybody participating in this collaboration. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time on Mama Bear's.